Hi students, welcome back. Now let's go through the remaining portions of the chapter. Why do people travel nowadays? Look at map 1 once more. Hills, mountains and seas form the natural frontiers of the subcontinent. While it was difficult to cross these frontiers, those who wanted could and did scale the mountains and cross the seas. People from across the frontiers also came into the subcontinent and settled here. These movements of people enriched our cultural traditions. People have shared new ways of carving stone, composing music, and even cooking food over several hundreds of years. So, hills, mountains, seas forms the frontiers of the subcontinent. Frontiers means the borderline. So, in each border we can see hills or mountains or seas. For example, the India and Nepal border. There we can see Himalayas, isn't it? Yes. So, it's very difficult to cross these frontiers. Thus, people traveled across these frontiers and settled in the subcontinent. The people from other places have a different tradition, isn't it? Their culture traditions are different. So, they shared new ways of carving stones, composing music and cooking food. Names of the land. Two of the words we often use for our country are India and Bharat. The word India comes from the Indus, called Sindhu in Sanskrit. Find Iran and Greece in your atlas. The Iranians and the Greeks who came through the northwest about 2500 years ago and were familiar with the Indus, called it the Hindus or the Indus, and the land to the east of the river was called India. The name Bharata was used for a group of people who lived in the northwest and who are mentioned in the Rig Veda, the earliest composition in Sanskrit. Later it was used for the country. So, we are now discussing about the name of our land. Okay, so India and Bharat were the two names we used for our country. The word India comes from Indus, which is called Sindhu in Sanskrit. So, Indus is a river and it is called Sindhu in Sanskrit. Okay, so about 2500 years ago, Iranians and Greeks came through the northwest and they called Indus Hindus or Indus. So, they called these Iranians and Greeks called the river Indus Hindus or Indus, and the land towards the east of the river Indus they called it as India. So they called the river Indus Hindus or Indus and the land India. This is how our country got its name India. Okay, so we have learned that our country has two names, India and Bharat, and from these Iranians and Greeks our country got the name India. The name Bharata was used for group of people who lived in northwest. Later it was used for the country. This name was mentioned in Rig Veda. Finding out about the past. There are several ways of finding out about the past. One is to search for and read books that were written long ago. These are called manuscripts because they were written by hand. This comes from the Latin word manu, meaning hand. These were usually written on palm leaves or on the specially prepared bark of a tree known as the birch, which grows in the Himalayas. Over the years, many manuscripts were eaten away by insects. Some were destroyed, but many have survived, often preserved in temples and monasteries. These books dealt with all kinds of subjects: religious beliefs and practices, the lives of kings, medicine, and science. Besides, there were epics, poems, plays. Many of these were written in Sanskrit, others were in Prakrit, languages used by ordinary people, and Tamil. So, now let's discuss about the ways to find out past. This can be done by searching or reading the books that has been written long ago. These are known as manuscripts. It comes from a Latin word manu, which means hand. Thus, they are called manuscript because they are written by hand. Okay, so these manuscripts are one way to find out about the past. In ancient times, people has handwritten the incidents that has been taken place during the time, and by using this manuscript, we can find out about the past. They are written on palm leaves or bark of tree, which is known as birch. Okay, so in these two ways, they have written these manuscripts on palm leaves or on the bark of tree, which is known as birch. These trees are mainly growing in Himalayas. A part of these manuscripts was destroyed by insects. So, a part of these, most of these manuscripts were destroyed by insects, and only some manuscripts were preserved, that too in temples and monasteries. These books include all subjects such as religious belief, practices, life of kings, then about medicines, science, etc. And there were also epics, poems, plays. So, this was written in Sanskrit and some in Prakrit and also in Tamil. Prakrit is a language used by ordinary people. We can also study inscriptions. These are writings on relatively hard surfaces such as stone or metal. Sometimes kings got their orders inscribed so that people could see, read and obey them. There are other kinds of inscriptions as well, where men and women recorded what they did. For example, kings often kept records of victories in battle. So, the next one is inscriptions. These are writings on stone or metal. So, on hard surfaces, the writings on these hard surfaces are inscriptions such as stone or metal. Kings put their orders in inscribed form such that people can see, read and obey them. Okay, this is somewhat similar to that of today's notice boards, isn't it? Okay, similarly, they have also inscribed about the victories they have achieved in a battle. There were many other things that were made and used in the past. Those who study these objects are called archaeologists. They study the remains of the buildings made of stone and brick, paintings and sculpture. They also explore and excavate to find tools, weapons, pots, pans, ornaments and coins. Some of these objects may be made of stone, others of bone, baked clay or metal. Objects that are made of hard, imperishable substances usually survive for a long time. There are many such things which was made and used in the past, and the people who study these objects are called archaeologists. They study about buildings, paintings and sculptures. They explore and excavate, which means dig under the surface of the earth. So, this is done to find out tools, weapons, pots, pans, ornaments and coins, etc. These objects were made up of bone, stone, baked clay or metal. Substances that has been made of hard, imperishable substances usually survive for a long time, such as the objects made up of metals, stone, bones, etc. So students, we will discuss the remaining portion of the chapter in next video. All of you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you will get the notification of next video. See you soon. Thank you.